How's it going, people? It's Mr. Shoe Guy over here on YouTube, MrShoeGuy.com. I get a lot of questions from people in the green room, people who aren't in the green room, general public. How do you stay so driven? I get that question all the time, and specifically when it comes to accomplishing goals. Recently I had a very big accomplishment for myself. It was a very big personal accomplishment. I'm a writer. I studied journalism in college. I've written for probably 10 to 12 newspapers, local, online, the works. Despite that, I still haven't been able to write a book. Even though that's been a long-term goal for myself for probably 10 to 12 years. Up until recently, when I wrote my first book, a how-to on how to flip shoes and resell shoes. I didn't plan on writing that book, actually. I knew that I wanted to write a book, but I didn't plan out to write it. I joined the green room 6 months ago, and people asked me to write the book after I demonstrated a little bit of knowledge on shoes and footwear in the comments section. I was pleasantly surprised to see that people were responding to my content. They were liking what I was posting, and they asked me, 3 people asked me, they said, you know what, you gotta write a guide. And I was like, no, I really don't want to. And they said, no, you got to. So I basically did kind of on a whim, and I spent the first month looking at a blank page, much like I've done the rest of my life. I've always been people have told me that I've been a somewhat gifted writer, but for myself, in terms of the writing process, I get stuck on the blank page all the time. I'm not exactly sure what to write, and I self-edit a lot. I delete stuff, I start writing, and 5 seconds later I'll delete it, and I'll write a paragraph and I'll delete it, or I'll come back and I'm not sure what to do. So for me, the writing this book actually took 6 months. The first month was just really me starting it, me trying it, me starting it, me trying it, and it was just some nonsense. So I kind of put it down for 3 weeks after I started, and I had a moment where I really had to reconsider, was this going to be something that I was going to start and stop and not really see through to the end, to completion? And that's something that's relatively new for me. I achieve a lot of the goals that I want in life, but in terms of some of the the longest held desires, they remain desires, and they don't materialize into things that I want to actually that I actually do. And I had to really consider, am I going to start this book after 3 weeks of trying and spending some time, and at the end of the day put it down, and then look back in 6 months to a year and be like, yeah, I should have kept going with it? No. And I told myself, no, that's not going to happen. Not this time. Not this time. So one of the things I did was I looked up on the web, and I just kind of looked up, okay, how to write an ebook, what to do, what to start. And I found a couple websites, and I can't remember the names of them, but I looked for motivation. And they did sufficiently motivate me to keep trying and keep going. But what really got me to keep going, and what really got me to actually finish this thing, was when I started to consider some of the end results that I would get from completing the book. And I think this would answer a lot of the questions that I do receive on a daily basis from, again, green room members, from friends, from family, people who want to accomplish their goals, and for many of them, writing a book is one of those goals. I considered some of the things that I would get. Number one, a personal sense of accomplishment. Who wants to sit there and say, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do that, and then never do it? So for me, I said, once I had finished that book, I can say I did it. Number two, bucket list. It's kind of like a bucket list thing. I mean, I think it's personally pretty cool for somebody to express their thoughts on paper and write them down, and to share that with the world. So for me, it's a huge bucket list accomplishment to say I wrote a book. 3, I'm a capitalist, kind of like a Glendon Cameron. I would recommend that you check him out, because that guy is incredibly motivational, and he can help you accomplish your goals if you look at him on YouTube. 3, I'm a capitalist. So when it comes down time to it, I like making money like everybody else. And if you write a book, if you control your physical product, you can actually control your economy a lot better. So for me, writing a book was high on the list when after, just the idea of helping people, it was basically, I can make money from this, why not? And with me controlling my physical goods, I can determine the price of it. So yeah, a personal sense of accomplishment, helping people, capitalism, you can make money from it. There's a lot of different reasons, but you need to consider why you want to do it. That's why. You need to consider what you want to do and why you want to do it. Because once you've decided what you want to do and why you want to do it, it'll be a lot easier for you to accomplish your goals. Because all you have to do is think about, oh, that's right, I do want to do this, and here's why I want to do it. So for me personally, once I sat down and really soul searched and figured out why I want to do this thing, and what it's going to take, then it was just a matter of accomplishing it. So the next thing that I did, and I want to say this was about 2 months in, after I realized I'm not going to just waste my time, I sat down and I figured, okay, what needs to be in this book? What needs to be there? I sat down and unbeknownst to me, I didn't realize what I was doing at the time, but I wrote an outline. I wrote every single, just like a one page, I spent an hour doing it, like a ... That's what I need to do. Chapter 1 needs to be this, chapter 2 needs to be that, and I kind of organized my thoughts in terms of where certain things need to fall in terms of importance, in terms of order, in terms of what needs to be there in this book. Then, by that point, I had sufficient motivation. By that point, I didn't have an issue of, well, I'm not sure if I'm going to keep doing it. And I think that's the point that a lot of people are trying to get to. They're not sure what to do. So again, I would say, number 1, evaluate your goals and evaluate what's going to be important to you. Number 2, come up with an outline. Those are the 2 biggest steps that I could give you. In terms of that, it's just write the damn thing. That's what it comes down to. After you have an outline and after you know what your goals are, all you have to do is write. It's that simple. And yes, I'm very passionate about it and I'm yelling because you just need to write it. It's that simple. And this goes beyond just writing a book. It comes in terms of you want to get better at running, or you want to start lifting weights, or you want to change your diet, or whatever it is that you want to do. If there are goals that you want to accomplish, you need to just get started. Number 1, evaluate your reasons for doing it and evaluate what it's going to take to get you there. Number 2, figure out how you can do this in a logical, rational, sane way that won't have you going crazy. And then number 3, get started. Get started. Thank you for watching Mr. Shoe Guy here on YouTube, and I hope this video was helpful to you. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or you just want to troll a little bit, go ahead, comment below, like, comment, subscribe, and make sure to buy my book over at MrShoeGuy.com. Thank you so much, and you have a blessed day.